The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show.
So now to your question, how do you know if it's good copy or bad copy? So there's really two questions, or just timing. Well, yeah. So by the way, just so we know, so we all have the same things. Copy typically means words, creative means visuals. So when you're talking, we're being specific because you defined it. So if you send me a postcard, it would be copy and creative, right? The creative is the visuals. The copy is literally just words. Not a big deal, but as we're communicating as a group, copy is words, creative is visuals. Okay. So how do you know if it's good or bad copy? Or if it's just not right timing. So the goal is right timing. A lot of it's right timing. So for commercial, that's why Dream 100 is so important. We know that of the Dream 100, at any given moment, 0 to 6.5 people are going to be like, I'm hot now, or I'm warm now, I'm interested now. And the other 92 are just like, not my day, don't care. That's why when people are like, I called the guy and he wasn't interested. Should I keep him on my dream? Yeah, that's the whole point of a Dream 100 is each one's worth a ton. And then we're going to get to residential. Each one's worth a ton. And we know that they're not going to be ready. 4% of them are going to be ready today, timing. But over the next year, 40 to 60% will probably be ready at some point. And over the next 5 years, north of 80%. So that's why we do a long-term thing. We're not trying to be like, how do I know it's just not good timing? We're looking for the good timing. I'm not good enough to write any copy that's like, takes a guy who's like, I'm completely happy with my cleaners, but I got this magic postcard and now I'm switching. Like, that's not the goal, right? Like, again, without being weird, it'd be like, I know a lady who I really want to date, but she's madly in love with another dude. What can I say to get, like, I don't know, like, find a single lady who's interested in dating, like, let's go for the low hanging fruit. So same thing with the copy. We're not looking to get people happy with their situation, whether it's, that's why it's really pain, right? So a woman who's in a happy relationship or happy being single, like, how do you get her to date? I'm like, I don't know. I would spend time finding a woman who's like, I'm really interested in dating and just try, like, let's just find the person that's got the pain. So I don't know. I wouldn't separate good copy, bad copy, like timing. Like it has to be both, right? I don't know how, I'm not good enough, or I wouldn't even try to. Washing machine or hot water heaters, a perfect example. If I sold hot water heaters, I wouldn't even know how to market it. I would only market to people who have a broken hot water heater. Like, no matter how good marketing you send me, every time I turn the water on, I want hot as hot. Like, what on God's green earth could you sell me, right? So I'm going to look for people that it doesn't hot, or it's not as hot as I need, or it's cold after the third shower, or there's some sort of pain. So are you cool? Everyone cool with the concept of we need timing and good copy? Good copy alone isn't enough. Like, the goal isn't to find people that are happy with their solution and talk them into our solution. It's to hit them with compelling copy at the moment that they're somewhat unhappy. So good. The only difference is, like, if their pain's at a 10, you say, I'll pick on Don because I love him. Say, Don's my cleaner, and for the 5th time in the last 6 weeks, his cleaner's left the door unlocked. And I've talked to him 4 times, and I've just got off the phone with him and I'm just about to dial whoever I know to whatever, and I get your ad. You could literally just cold call me. Hi, Mike. My name is Mike. I have cleaning and I don't suck. Can I have money, please? And that's terrible copy, but it'll probably work pretty deal. Like, my response, oh my God, yes, please, when can you come out? Right now, rewind 4.5 weeks, and it's the second time I've mentioned it to Dom, and I'm a little peeved, right? I'm not ready to dial. I'm not going to fire him. I'm just a little peeved. If you send me, hi, Mike, money, give me clean, please, it's probably not going to work. But if you send a good piece of copy with an easy call to action, you're going to get me. So the copy is really for people, any copy works if the timing's perfect. What we're really looking for is the good copy is going to be more effective with people that are mildly unhappy. Does that make sense? Okay. So to answer your question, how do you know if it's working or not? Short answer is ROI, return on investment. The reason I can't be more specific than that is because different platforms have different numbers that work. So on a Facebook ad, like a 1% click-through rate's pretty good. And again, even that depends on what industry, right? So just in general, 1% click-through rate's pretty good. $3-4 a click's pretty good. 20-30% of your landing page converting to the opt-in page is pretty good. 30% of the, maybe 30-40% of the people that hit the opt-in page actually taking the call to action is pretty good. And then, so there's lots of different things. With a billboard, it might be 2 clients a month. With direct mail, if it's just a postcard or something, not like lumpy mail that's expensive, like even a long form sales letter, it might be 1% response rate might be good. So depending on the method or medium that you have, what a successful one changes. What never changes, return on investment. So I don't care if you get as 0.01% response rate, but you send out 1,000 flyers for $400 and one guy calls. That's a terrible response rate. But if that one guy is a $400 client that stays for a month, that stays for 3 years, that's a good return. That's an effective dadgum ad. Did that answer your question? Or did I miss what you're looking for?
Yeah, I think what my takeaway would be is that the copy is really, the goal of the copy should be at least some kind of frame that you want to go for. And in our case is, some pain. So if you have something that's at least decent in the copy area, so much more of the good or bad relies on the timing of a lot of different things like you mentioned, right? So we want our copy to be at least a decent copy along the lines of the theme, if you will, or the idea, the framing of what I mean. If you call somebody up and you want to talk to them about something, that's what you'd want to talk about. Their pains. What I'm trying to say. I don't know if that makes any sense. So if the copy reflects the pain that you're a pain versus just a bad copy, like my original, perhaps I wouldn't necessarily call them up and talk to them about that, but I would call them up or and talk to them about their pain, for example. Does that make any sense? So is the goal of the copy is just to be decent along the lines of what you actually want to talk to them about, and the rest of it kind of depends on timing. I
would go a little. That's 80%. Yes, that is correct. I would add a little nuance. Copy also pre-frames. So depending on how complex the sale is, the copy has to do a lot more, a lot less lifting, right? So for a residential sale, a postcard or whatever, and it also depends on what you're selling. So, and I don't mean like residential or commercial. I mean, are you selling? Okay. So the goal of all copy is to get them to take an action. The mistake that most of us make is we go too far down the line in an action. So again, I use dating because everybody gets it. I don't know what online platforms are anymore. I've been married for 15 years, but whatever the new thing is where you put your online platform, aside from the picture, which is obviously good copy, but we can only do what we can do with our pictures, right? If we're being honest. If I'm doing copy, the goal of them is not to get them to marry me or to be in a long-term relationship. It's just to get them to email me back or text me back or swipe left or whatever the hell I want them to do, right? So the same thing goes with copy. We get to call now for a free estimate, meaning call now so I can sell you something. That's too big of a sale, right? So like we use email because it's pretty simple and everybody gets it. If you email someone, a lot of times they want to do a whole sale in one email or even a landing page, right? I come to your landing page. I've been here 10 seconds. I know you this much. And you're like, buy my crap. That's a lot to ask of a landing page. What you really are selling is just click this thing, take the next action, subscribe to my podcast, opt into my email list, make a 10-minute call. Like you're just selling the next thing. So with a postcard, the sale is, and that's why I'm like, I get so uptight about the offer, right? Because what is the next thing? Like, call me, come over, go to my website, go visit us on Instagram, shoot me an email. Like that's overwhelming. So we want to be crystal clear on the action we want them to do and then reverse engineer it from that. So all the goal of the copy is to get them to do the next thing. So again, if I'm on a dating app, I'm not trying to get them to marry me or meet my parents. I'm trying to get them to swipe left, call back, give me, I don't know, whatever the next thing is. And then say, I'm old school, so say we're now texting, right? Too much to call, so we're texting. The goal of the texting still not to get her to fall in love with me, just to get her to meet me for coffee or to talk to me on the phone or whatever an appropriate next step is. And coffee, I'm still not trying to marry her, still not trying to get her to like meet my parents or fall in love. The goal is just to sell her on, maybe we can have a whole dinner together, right? So the problem we make is we go way too far with copy. Like, hey, I spent $3 to get you to click on my landing page. Buy my crap. Call now so I can book a sales call with you. It's not enough. It's too much. So you've got to make an offer that's super easy, like breadcrumbs. So you want to kind of leave little breadcrumbs that they can pick up. And at the end of the breadcrumbs is marriage, or they buy something from you, as opposed to they have to take this huge leap from, here's a postcard, call now for a free estimate, which means call now so I can sell you crap. So yes, the copy's goal is just to get them to take the next step, not to buy the whole thing. Helpful?
Yeah. I think we're really selling pick whatever, but you're really kind of selling the conversation about, their pain. And by the way, we clean too, kind of.
That's exactly it.
Almost.
Exactly it.
Kind of like that. We want to take care of whatever issue you're paying, this, that, and the other, and we clean too. It's kind of a side note in some respects.
I would, believe it or not, I wouldn't even add in that we clean too. So like when we do the podcast or any of our lead generation activities, I don't go, oh, and by the way, we coach too. It's implied. We're not hiding it, but I never even bring it up. We just talk about their pain. And if and when we think that we can help their pain, I go, holy crap, Tim, I got to be honest with you. What you're talking about is what we do every day, all day. Would you like our help with that? Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be great. And then we talk to them about it. But I'm not even going to offer that we clean or coach or do anything we do until I'm clear on what his problem is. I've decided I want to solve it. A lot of people come in, they're just starting or whatever. It's just not for us. And we're like, fantastic. Here's a different option. Here's 1,000 podcasts that we've done for free. You don't have to pay a nickel, join our, here's other options. So the goal for me is never even to sell them crap. It's to really understand their problem and help them solve the best I can. If I've done a good job marketing, I'm going to have a high hit rate where maybe 70% of the people I talk to, I'm like, oh, I know I can solve your problem. But that, like when I said the marketing sets the pre-frame, if my marketing was want to be a millionaire in 10 seconds, without cleaning toilets, call now. Well, then my hit rate's going to be super low because you see how the messaging is going to attract the wrong people. So if we're like, hey, if I talk more about the specific pains of, are you just starting out, don't know how to get clients, don't know how to bid, I'm going to get the wrong people. If I'm like, full schedule, don't know how to get out of cleaning, stuck at 6 figures, want to go to 7 figure, I'm going to get the right people. So the two jobs of the copy are to get the right people to take the next action and really hope ideally the wrong people don't do anything.
Yeah, because through the reiteration of the copy I sent you, that's the changing point. It was the focus of what the copy was from me and to them about cleaning, to what their problems are, pains, things. That's really
we're cleaning, so we want to talk about cleaning, but they don't. That would be like me going, Tim, how much coaching have you had? How much coaching would you like? What do you think about coaching? Let me tell you how good coaching is. You're like, I don't care about any of that. I'm cleaning toilets. I want to cut it out. Can we talk about that? I'm like, no, coaching. You're like, I don't see what I'm saying?
Yes.
ClickFunnels, by the way, for any of you guys that know Russell Brunson, genius at that. Genius. He never sold ClickFunnels. He sold online marketing and the power, I think, what's his tagline? It's so good. Like, you're just one funnel away. Such a good tagline. Such a good tagline. And then you get him and you're like, oh my God, I get the value of these funnels. And of course I need ClickFunnels, but it's almost a secondary thought. So yeah, I'm sick of looking stupid in front of my coworkers and having my boss pissed at me and having to spend 20% of my time wrangling the stupid cleaning company when that's not even on my job description. I'm just freaking doing it accidentally. When you get him there and you and I have that conversation and you get me to that point, well, of course I'm going to, and you're like, oh, we do that. Would you like, oh my God, yeah, why don't we just do that? And there's no bidding, there's no taking it out. There's just me going, yes, you're the guy.
Yeah.
So really good marketing discussion. Did I answer the question? I mean, that was for everybody, but did I answer your specific question, Tim?
Yeah. Yes, it did, Mike.
Hey, new friend, love that you were here. If you want more Cleaning Nation, more us, you can check us out on YouTube. Similar content, you just get to see each other. It's totally free. Or if you want to say, hey, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, join our free Facebook group. We love hearing from you, Cleaning Nation. That's what makes it magic. Jump on, we'll see you there.
Question: how do I get better at taking charge of solution calls? Really good question. Sometimes people default talking about the number of beds, blah, blah, blah. How do we get better walkthroughs and record the walkthrough without being weird? These are such good questions. All right, I'll put it out there. There's an easy, obvious answer to take control of any question without feeling like a jerk or I gave the answer anyway, so I'm just going to tell you. Best way to take take charge of any conversation is to ask a question. It's not rude. So here, let's just role play. I'm going to try and do what I want to do, which is, the system, and you just start yakking on about whatever you feel that is important to you. Hey, Ellen, thanks for inviting me out. Ground rules, ground rules, ground rules. Is that still good? Yeah. Awesome. What made you invite me out today?
Um, because I have two kids and I just don't have time to clean. Yeah, and I want to take this load off my plate. And also I
You're
have
doing what I
two
want
bed.
you to do,
Oh,
which is
okay.
great. So you got to start talking about crap I don't want to hear because I'm not going to interrupt
Okay.
that. You're doing exactly what I want.
Oh, okay. So I have two bedrooms. We have only tile floors. I really
Got
want
it.
the
Slow down.
stairs to
Hold
be
on, hold on,
that.
hold on. Appreciate all that. What's the most frustrating part? What's driving you nuts today?
Yeah, just like I want my time back, but also like how
We're done.
much?
You see, she's
What's your
already right back
price?
on.
Wait,
You're
what's
right
your
back on
cost?
charge. So so it's fine, but you see how that was as rude as you're going to need to get. Hey,
Yeah.
and I just didn't let her go. Asked another question and she just immediately complied.
But what if they like, okay, hold on. Then what if I interrupt you and then I'm like, oh, what's your rate, by the way? Because
you have to do that. So the problem is when we role play, I go, be the pain in the ass that you're doing. And then I role play and you can't be the pain in the ass because it's working. So generally what happens is you're like, well, what if they acted this way? I'm like, well, if you ask that question I asked you to ask, they're going to answer it just like you did. So I'm happy to role play it, but I want you to know that would be an extreme circumstance. So we'll role play to get all right. Ellen's too nice. Who could be a complete a-hole? All right. Don's like done and done. Actually, Ruth was pointing to you before you raised your hand. She's like, all right. So Don, just be, and again, and I'll be honest, I'll show you if he's too much, I'll end the call. Like I won't, I'll just call it. So you can be as a-hole as you want it on. I shouldn't say a-hole. Be as focused on asking me stupid ass prices and dusting and details that don't matter. And right. I'll role play how I'd handle it. So again, I'm still going to set so I'm not going to go yada yada. I'm going to go through the ground rules, Ellen, because that's also setting up who's in charge. So, well, first of all, let me answer your second question because all of this will be answered. And I think I'm going to go over it with Claire, God willing. I am. You're actually next, who's got a recording and we'll actually see this in real life. So that's the best way because you guys hit me with a bunch of hypotheticals. I'm like, well, but if you would have they're like, they don't want to give a budget and that's for commercial, not residential. I'm like, had you gotten pain and summarized and validated and gotten them 100% committed and then asked for budget, they will give you budget, but you don't do all that stuff. And you're like, they won't give budget. And I'm like, well, the problem was 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to take charge from the beginning. And then Ellen, you can be like, oh, I can see where Don's going to feel really stupid because he's going to have to work really hard to not follow my system because my system seems so logical and helpful to him. He has to just be like intentionally obtuse. Right. So that's why I'm going to play it with Don. A, you're too nice. You'll just keep doing what I ask you to do. And B, I want you to see it from a third party. And for those of you guys coming to the event, a little teaser. I think I've told you before, the best way to do sales training is in groups of 3, where you've got a buyer, a seller, and an observer. So the way we're doing it now is that larger. I'm going to be selling, Don's going to be buying, and we've got a dozen observers. At the event, we're going to break into groups of 3, and we're going to train it, and then you guys are going to do it. I'm going to walk around. It's going to be awesome. So we'll do that now in a large group, but it's much more fun in a small group. And you guys can do that on your own, not at the event, right? You can get in groups of 3 and do this on your own. Okay, Don, only rule is you have to be a real human. You can't be a complete psychopath that no one's ever dealt with. Just be the most difficult person that someone might actually deal with. Is that fair?
It's a call, right? It's not a face-to-face.
Ellen, you want call in-house, right? Or sorry, you want in-house conversation, not call, correct?
I asked about both, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Claire, which is yours the in-person deal?
No, mine's an intro call because I haven't been recording the in-person walkthroughs. I didn't know that was allowed.
Oh yeah. So we'll do the in-person one, Don, because we're going to go over Claire's call. So we can do one of each for 2 different people. But let me answer Ellen's question, which Claire seems to have the same question with. So in the United States, certain states, you are allowed to record a conversation. Well, I know a call, I don't know about a conversation with just one person knowing. You don't even, that you are that person who's recording it. And this is on phone. Other states, 2 people have to know. So for us, because we work in all the states, on every call, we just say, hey, just so you know, call's recorded. Or if it's on Zoom, I think Zoom tells you it's recorded. So every single one of you guys that was here, unless you talked to an enrollment coach who didn't follow system, and I listened to their call, so I know they did follow system. When you started your call, they went, hey, just so you know, call's being recorded. And you went, okay. So when you're like, how do I do it without being weird? Just go, hey, just so you know, we record the calls so I can make sure we get everything. If you make it a big deal, like, hey, Ellen, I know it's super weird, but would it be okay do you mind if I just, hey, Ellen, we're going to go over all this just so you know I'm recording the call so I can get better. That said, question. So as long as you just say it like you're not doing anything weird, because you're not doing anything weird, you're literally recording it so you can get better at doing your job. And if I've never had anyone say there's a problem with that, and if they did, I would just be like, well, okay, then go away. What are you going to, like, I'm always weird. And again, no offense to any police officers, but if I was a cop, I'd be like, no, put a body cam on me. I want it all videoed. So when the guy says I did something crazy, we got video. I'd be very nervous about a cop that's like, no, I don't want body cam. Like, why? What are you planning on doing? So the same thing if I'm with someone, like, don't record this conversation. I'm like, why? What do you plan on happening here that you don't want recorded? So to answer Evan's question, we do it on every call that we do. It is phone, not in person. But if I was in person, we go, hey, just so you know, we record the calls because we want to get better all the time. That said, and I'd hit right with a question. So that answers your second question, Ellen, of how do you do calls without being weird? Just don't be weird. All right. So I'm going to do with the Don, and I'm going to do the whole thing because part of taking control and having a Don, it's called leading and pacing and following. So when I pace the conversation, he's naturally going to follow me. So part of the pacing is the setting of the ground rules because I am telling him, here's how the call is going to go. So we kind of train him at the beginning. So when I start asking questions, he's already used to me being in charge. All right, Don, rules are you can be the worst human you've talked to, but it has to be an actual human that would respond the way, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a cyborg a-hole. You have to be an actual human responding the way humans respond, even if it's pain in the ass. All right. Hey, Don, thanks for inviting me out. I know we talked yesterday. I slept since then. Can we just agree what we talked about on the phone?
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming. Yeah, like I say, I have a big Labrador.
Whoa. Hold on. Slow your roll, baby. Question asked is, are you okay if we re-agree with what we agreed on? So we said 20 minutes uninterrupted. I'm turning my phone off. You still have 20 minutes uninterrupted?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I got kids. I got to pick up my kids in like 15, 20 minutes. So that's fine. Yeah.
Hold on. Just to be clear, for me to really be able to help you, we need 20 minutes interrupted. So do you need to pick up your kids in 15 minutes or 20 minutes?
I'll do 25 minutes. They can wait for me. No worries.
Attaboy. I knew I liked you. Great. And if I know I said this on the phone, but for whatever reason, if I'm not 1,000% confident we're the absolute best to solve your problem, you're still cool with me telling you that, correct?
Sure.
Cool. And vice versa, right? You don't like the way I ask questions. I'm too bossy, too ugly, too expensive. I smell. You just tell me to piss off. Fair?
Sure thing.
Cool. And he's already, like, I told him to be a jerk and he's completely complying with everything I'm saying. So at the end of this, if I'm like, oh my God, I understand your problem. I know I can solve it. And you're like, oh, this guy gets it. What would you like to see happen again?
I don't know. I mean, I like to get a quote from you or maybe some numbers that I can figure out if it's going to work for me or not.
Got it. So obviously, like I said, if I'm too expensive, ugly, whatever, you're going to throw me right out. But
Yes.
if I know I can help, you know I can help, we give you numbers, all that makes sense. What would you like to see happen at that point?
Oh, we'll get started right away.
Cool. Love it. So to make that happen, I'm going to ask a bunch of questions just to make sure I really understand the problem before I make a proposal to solve it. Is that still fair?
Sure. I have a list of the things that I want you to clean. So yeah, you can ask me any questions about that. Uh-huh.
Beautiful. So what made you invite me out today? What's driving you up a wall about this whole situation?
Yeah, like I say, I have this big dog, man, and he sheds like crazy. So I just want you guys to come out and take care of the floors and maybe the bathrooms.
When you say shed like crazy, what's the worst part about that? Hold on really quick. First of all, he's been compliant the whole time, even after I told him not to be compliant. And he's doing a really good job of like complying with my thing and then trying not to. So when he talks about a dog, which is what I want to hear about, and that's good, I give him positive reinforcement by nodding and smiling. When he starts changing the subject, I just jump in. Hold on, tell me what's the most frustrating. And I asked him about his thing, and he just got right back on track. So hopefully you guys saw what I did wasn't like heavy lifting or voodoo, or I'm not like this dominant, crazy, like I could never do that. It's literally the script that we teach and just an intolerance from him going places that aren't going to help him. And for you, Adon, did that feel uncomfortable? Was I being pushy? Was I doing anything that you're like, oh, that felt gross?
No, no, it feels different. It just feels different because we usually don't deal with people that straightforward, but it's good.
Right. And
Like,
nor do I, by the way. Like with
Say
you
what?
guys, I said, I don't deal with people that straightforward as well, but I match your energy. So,
Right.
And I kind of cheated because I knew you were going to be an a-hole because I asked you to be an a-hole. So I was coming in pretty like, hey, let's go. but I usually come in with humor, and 92% of the time people like the humor and they just follow what I do. But if and when they get pissy or whatever, and I wasn't a jerk. I just interrupted and said, and again, I was asking about what you wanted to talk about anyway. She's like, yeah, I've got a whole list. And by the way, guys, you are welcome to ignore a non-objection. So I've got a list of things that I want to get done. You can ask whatever you want about that. I just ignored it and asked what I wanted to ask.
Right.
He went, okay, and just started answering it. So we could have gotten a big pissing match about, well, I'm going to answer it. Or I could just ask a different question. He's like, oh, okay, we're going here. So do you notice if you go back and replay that, it was just question. And he just answered. And if he didn't answer the way I liked, I made a statement and then asked another question. Or if he was really getting out of hand, I'd interrupt and ask a question. But it's just all questions. So I got to control, hey guys, what's the ugliest animal you've ever seen? I just controlled everybody's mind to a degree because you're like, oh, should I want to? And everyone started thinking about that just by asking a question. You can't not. It's a question. That's why in copy, most of the stuff we do is questions as opposed to we clean great. Do your cleaners make you sad? Or, we're cleaners that make you happy when we come out. Do your cleaners make you happy when you come out? Question people have to answer. Ellen, do you feel, and I know it's going to be tough for you because I'm naturally able to be that kind of dominant and you're not, but hopefully you can be like, they're just questions, right? I'd be like, shut up, Adon, I'm in charge here. No, you better, I didn't do anything like that. I just interrupted with a question. Is that something you feel like you could build that muscle?
Yeah, I think I just need to keep practicing and just keep doing it. And then I know that I'll get better. I just need to keep working on it and making it more natural.
For everybody, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So really important you guys bring in your recordings. So if you keep doing it wrong over and over, and that's practice, and I'm not saying you are or aren't, I don't know because I haven't heard it, but I just want to encourage everybody doing it poorly. Like that's what I got so excited about Tim and Beth. If they just kept sending the same crap copy, not listening to what I was doing, at some point I'd be like, Tim, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like you're just not listening. But when he kept getting better and better and better, I was like, oh, we can do this. So I'm confident you're getting better, but if you can let me listen to one, you'll just get better so much faster because we can identify exactly what wrong as opposed to you having to guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'll record it. I just wasn't recording the walkthroughs. But I have some calls recorded that I can send more to you.
Cool. Did you feel you've got what you need out of that, Ellen?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
Well, here we are at the end of the podcast and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share it with a friend. Share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431, 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.